Hi everyone, welcome back to my podcast. My name's Stephen, an ex-Royal Naval clearance diver. I'm also was a salvage diver and an offshore commercial diver. These episodes or these little stories are all about periods of my life during that time. Some are funny, some are sad, and some are actually frightening. This particular one relates to episode 5. And it's my time on the Scotland Northern Ireland clearance diving team at Rosyth in Scotland. And this particular story is based in Northern Ireland. It's actually based in Rathlin Island, just off Northern Ireland. This is one of these jobs that were quite long, weeks and weeks we were on this job. So we got a call, and that was that there was a ship just off Rathlin Island with munitions on it. It may have had some explosives, but it had a lot of munitions when it sunk. And it sunk a wee while ago, but we did not want diarrhea or whatever getting this ammunition off and explosives off the ship. So there was multiple options for us. One was to blow the ship up. It's quite a big ship, and it was going to take a long time. It was quite deep water, 130 odd foot of water as well. There was a couple of other options, but really we needed it done very quickly. And somebody came up with a great idea, and that was to cover the hull and the hold with chain. Not little chain, I mean, I'm talking, chain 3 or 4 foot long, massive links, and just pour it into the hold and all over the ship to stop any people getting into the hold. And it seemed to be the quickest option. So a ship came from Campbelltown. It was a chain layer, and we're going to work with that to cover the ship in chain. It was an incredibly dodgy job overall. We couldn't stay on the ship, therefore we were staying on Rathlin Island. And remember, that this is a time, it's 78. It's there's a lot happening in Northern Ireland, and we were going to be on our own there. We weren't going to be protected by the Marines or Army. So we did. A few of us brought who had shotgun licenses brought shotguns and shells, because we were going to be living on the island in these caravans, and we certainly didn't want to be without some sort of protection. Every day we would zodiac out to where the chain layer was. So we did a complete survey of the ship. Like I said, it was about 130 odd foot. And then eventually the chain, we decided the way we were going to lay the chain, and that was to work with the chain layer. We were again using bone conductors behind our ear to talk to the surface. So what we would do is go down and we would guide left and right and to fill the hole with this chain. Like I say, it was a massive chain, but it was really quite dodgy. I mean, there was good tides there, deep water, about 130 foot to the top of the hole in the hull. Anyway, we just go back and forward, laying this, and it sounds like, but 6 dives, you maybe get 2 or 3 movements, because you had to make sure you were clear, your umbilical, everything was clear as it was coming down, and the visibility wasn't fantastic. But it was interesting. I mean, we eventually put that all in there and covered it and did the job. It took a little while, but it was the quickest option. But we nearly lost one of the divers on it. His name was Rattler Morgan. The Navy, and it may reflect to today, the military were trying to cut costs. Now, as I said on my diving course, we were using rebreathers, nitrix mix, and in the little canister is sodasorb, and that sodasorb is there to remove the carbon dioxide when you breathe in and breathing out from your counter lung. Now, normally they're individual containers, one for each. They're all sealed. When you open them, they become activated. So you have to use them, fill your canister up, use them for that dive, ditch it. Next one, you get a brand new one, all sealed. So they sent out these massive tubs of sodasorb. And of course, the minute it broke, it sounded great. You just scoop it up. We got all this. It's cheaper. But in fact, what was happening was that, because we were on quite a long job, the soda zob was beginning to not do its job as well. And I always remember we put Rathlin in to do a dive, and within 5 minutes he was on the surface, just floating. And when we pulled him into the Zodiac, I always remember turning him over, and he was great. He was purple, and you could see his face, but he was biting into the mouthpiece like he would not let go of this. He was in, obviously, some sort of fit due to lack of, or maybe a build-up of carbon dioxide. The one thing is, once you get him in, you strip everything off. That's the suit as well. You cut the suit off him because his skin breathes as well. We need to get him breathing. Need to get oxygen into his body as fast as possible. It's amazing. Once he's out, we cut him out of his suit. We get his mask off. He kind of starts to relax. He's not biting into and it's a good thing in a sense that he's biting into the mouthpiece, because there is a habit they bloody bite into their tongue. But within a matter of minutes, you could see him start to come round. And it was really funny because he was sort of come round. He was looking at us. We were all over him, because we were a bit stressed. And he goes, is the dive finished then? It made us laugh. He didn't remember a thing. He said, oh, I was just swimming. Next minute, you guys were looking at me. And we explained to him, it was pretty dangerous. So. Well, it certainly wasn't the worst thing that had happened over my career, but you could see that continuous diving, how that little mistake can be made. Instead of having these individual canisters well sealed, they give us this massive tub that was meant to seal, but of course it doesn't seal properly. Like I say, the job was done well. We also, and this is an essential thing, you get friendly with a guy on he was a salvage diver on the Rathlin Island at the time. So we got friends with him. It's always better to stay friends with the locals. And he actually had his own house there, and he had his own little bar, and he called us down one night, and it was Bushmills and Irish lager or whatever. I mean, we were obviously paying for it, but it was quite nice of him to do that. Like I say, we were talking to him about the IRA, etc., and he said, "Oh no, you'll be okay, boys. Don't you worry. You're fine." How he knew, I don't know, and I never asked, to be honest. We actually ended up going there twice. One was obviously to cover that ship and not allow anybody to get munitions off it. The second one was, there's a ship in Church Bay, which is on Rathlin Island. I can't remember the name of the ship. It's an old naval ship, and it's lying on the seabed. It was continuously leaking engine oil, and you could see it. Church Bay is a beautiful bay, stunning wildlife and birds, and it was just leaking continuously on. And we had been sent out a few times to survey it and see what could be done. But I think we had the environmental people came with us as well. So a plan was set up, and that plan was for us to blow these tanks in a one-hour rather than it continuously leaking. And this ship had been in for a long time, in the water for a long time. So we were going to bang, put some small explosives, open up the tanks. The oil was going to come out, and we had these oil boom protection vessels there with the floats on the surface to collect oil and then suck all up and get rid of it. So it was all done in a 1 hour. Sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? But I don't think anybody had really calculated how much oil there was. Maybe they did, and it just came out too quickly, I don't know, but they had all the stuff there ready to go, just off the beach, so to stop any oil coming onto the beach. And we set it, and these booms could not deal with the oil, just couldn't deal with it. It was overwhelmed, and tons of oil ended up on the beach, which was incredibly sad, I thought. It did recover. I mean, I think within a year or so, because they did clean it up as best they could. But we could have done a better job there. Well, I don't know if we could have done a better job, but I think we underestimated environmental protection vessels and that just underestimated how much oil was going to come out. That's one little story, and like I say, it relates to my time on the Scotland Northern Ireland clearance diving team. I really hope you enjoyed this story or stories, and I really appreciate you listening. You guys take care. All the best.